In this video, we are going to talk about Indian Evidence Act 1872, section 45 to 51, which deals about the relevancy of opinion of facts. Usually, the witness has to depose the statement in the court, and the witness can state the what the things he has seen, what the things he has heard, that only he can depose in the court. But he cannot give any opinion on a particular matter. That is dealt in this section 45 to 51. So, the person who deposed the witness cannot have any say on the opinion on the facts. So, it is the judiciary function, it is the judicial function, and the court has to drive the opinion from the facts deposed by the witness. That is an important issue which we have to understand in this particular video. So, the section 45 to 51 says about the opinion on facts which has to be derived by the court and not by the person who deposed the witness. That is the important thing. So, section 45 says person who deposed witness, person who says the witness, the statement of witness must state the facts seen, what the fact is seen by him, what he perceived by his mind by them, and not the opinions and inferences drawn. He cannot draw the inference or opinions drawn from them, from the facts. The function of drawing inferences is judicial function, that is court function. So, the inferences, opinions cannot be drawn by the witness. That is important thing. In this we have to understand. Then ipse dixit, the Latin term says, so he says, that is the inferences should be drawn by the court, opinion should be drawn by the court basing on the facts deposed by the witness. Then this is always called experto creed, and the section 45 says about the expert evidence. So, section 45 and 46 says about the opinion of experts. Mainly it deals about the opinion of experts. 45, section 45 and 46 of Indian Evidence Act says about the opinion of experts. Section 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, it draws the opinion from the third parties. That is, deal with the opinion of third parties. So, what is the third parties opines about the witness, about the statement, that is section 47 to 51. So, we will see each and everything. So, first section 45, the experto creed means the experts trust the expert. What the experts say, that we have to trust in the court. That is an important issue. Who is an expert? So, a person who is an expert in a particular field can give his opinion on the facts drawn in the court. So, but the thing is, the expert opinion can be questioned by the court, or even it can be cross-examined by the opponent party. So, simply because they are an expert, they are not above the law, they are also answerable. They have to the credence of the experts should also be proved in the court. Then facts and opinion. So, here we are going to deal about a dead body is done, a dead body is has undergone the postmortem, and the doctor has to give the postmortem report, that is expert opinion. So he says about how the death occurred, when the rigor mortis occurred, and what is the time of death, cause of death, everything they have to give in the doctor report, that is postmortem report. So for example, a body is thrown on the water after murder, but generally what will be the feeling? So he is drowned in the water, and by entering of water or waterlogging in the lungs and the edema in stomach, that is he has gulped the water, by that he died. People will be under the impression, since he was thrown in water. But but actual cause of death can be known only by postmortem. That is, the postmortem report clearly says that there was no waterlogging in the lungs, and also there was no the edema in the stomach. It clearly indicates that the person who was murdered, and then afterwards he was thrown in the water. So that inference can be drawn by the doctor by his postmortem report or analysis of the body, or by postmortem analysis he can give the report. That is the expert opinion. So basic we have to reliable on the expert opinion, that is the court relies on the expert opinion of the doctor. That is, then simultaneously the safeguard for the experts evidence is also given under section 159, 160, 161 of the Criminal Procedure Code. Then the section 45A says up to this the 45 section is over. Now section 45A says about the opinion of examiner of electronic evidence. The electronic evidence should be examined by the person who is specialist in that field, that is the electronic evidence. Say the computer recordings or the digital recordings, so many what are the electronic evidences, that is known only to the electronic expert. So the electronic expert, the central government, the important thing is the central government should notify the examiner of electronic records, electronic evidence. Section 794 of central government to notify the examiner of electronic evidence. So that is an important thing. Then section 46 says about, section 46 clearly, it is a very elaborate section which clearly says about the expert's evidence and how the opinion is derived or the inference is derived basing on the modern that is so many expert evidence. Say for example, whether a person is poisoned or not, this can be revealed by the experts basing on the affirmation of the symptoms which the poison can give or which the poison cannot give. This can be given only by the expert. That is the section 46 says. Apart from that, the expert evidence should be direct and it should not be indirect. Say case study is Bullcoming versus New Mexico 2011. In this the actual sample was taken by the experts, blood sample. He was driving the vehicle with intoxication, that is above the level of the liquor level was more than the permissible limit in the blood, and that's why he was booked, and then the case was remanded to the lower court, that is remanded the case, the Supreme Court remanded the case to the lower court. That was in the Bull Cumming versus New Mexico 2011. So the expert evidence should be direct. And another thing here, the cause of the death, time of the death, relevancy of medico legal evidence, and then the forensic science fingerprint expert, that is blood test taken or the sperm test taken, swab taken, the mouth swab taken by the experts, and they have to give report basing on the sample taken, and also the lie detector test, DNA profiling, polygraph, that is lie detector test, narco analysis, and then brain mapping, and ballistic experts' opinion. These are all the opinions derived from the experts. So naturally, when the judges are not expert in the scientific field, such as the fingerprint expert, or they are not DNA profiling experts, so they refer the case to the experts, and the experts give their opinion. Basing on the opinion, the inference is drawn by the court, that is judge. So we want to say something about actually the doctors who are doing the post-mortem has to give the cause of death and the time of that death basing on the rigor mortis, that is the body develops some sort of hardness, that is called rigor mortis. Maranavaripu, in Tamil it is called Maranavaripu. Basing on that rigor mortis, they fix the time and all. If at all, if it is less or more, but the time of death can be fixed approximately. And the role of medico legal evidence. Medico legal evidence means medically what are the evidences, legally taken evidences says about the cause of the death, that should be taken. And the fingerprint also is taken. The fingerprints, there are three types of fingerprints: loop, arch, and whirl. Loop, arch means it starts from one edge of the finger to another edge of the finger, that is called arch type fingerprints. And then the loop actually starts from one edge of the finger and goes upwards, broadens, and then again narrows, and again comes down on the same edge from where it starts. That is called the loop type arrangement. And whorl arrangement is circular concentric rings will be there. That type of fingerprint is called that is whorl type. So by basing on the each and every person has his own or her own fingerprints. Basing on the fingerprints, the opinion is drawn or the inference is drawn. So the fingerprint is taken from the site of the crime by the fingerprint experts, and then the blood test is also taken, that is from the site of the crime or from the murder scene. The blood is taken and it is compared to the actual suppose if it is a murder happened by raping, and the semen of that person taken from the vaginal swab, and it is compared. So these are all and the blood is also compared. Suppose if any murder happens the sword, the blood will be there, stain will be there. That is taken from the, that is compared with the dead body of a person, and then if both coincides, then death occurred due to stabbing. So these are all inferences are drawn by the basing on the experts' opinion. So then handwriting signature is also verified, and signature experts are there to say about the veracity of the signature. And then the DNA profiling, it was invented by during 1984. The London doctor Alec Jeffrey found out DNA profiling. Each and every person has his own DNA, and the DNA is mapping of DNA is done. Basing on that, the actual person is identified. That is DNA profiling. And polygraph test or lie detector test. Actually, when a person is interrogated by the police, if he is abruptly or wantonly telling lies, then the lie detector test is undergone. That this is a physiological test. A body undergoes some changes when he says the lie. So the probes are fixed in the as ECG taken in the hands and chest, and in various places the knobs are fixed, and then while telling the lies, the actually some body changes happens, that is in the blood, the BP and the nervous reaction is something different from the normal. Basing on that, the lie detector, the lie is detected. So he is wantonly telling lie, and there the inference is drawn by the concerned expert. So that is called a polygraph test or lie detector test. Then that is necroanalysis. The necroanalysis is nothing but it is based on when a person is telling actually they induce a person to take barbiturate, that is some intoxicated substance they are giving, and while taking the intoxication like substance, that is barbiturates, then he will he will not tell the lie, the truth will come out. The drunken people also will not tell lie. Basing on that, the narco analysis test is done, and that is recorded by the experts, and that opinion is drawn, from which inference is also drawn. Then brain mapping is also done. Suppose if the criminal persons will not have the brain mapping as like ordinary persons, that brain mapping is also done in case of criminals. And then the last one is ballistic inferences. That ballistic inferences, this is actually the gun and the cartridges which are used are clearly examined by the ballistic missile experts. That is, what is the size of the bore size of the gun, and what is the rifle size, and whether the shooting was done in the point blank range or far off places. That can be that inference can be drawn by the ballistic experts. So basing on the patches left on the entry point of the missile and the exit point of the missile, the actual distance from where the gun was shot can be identified by the ballistic experts. So these are all, this is with regard to the completely, the section 46 is completely with regard to the experts advice. Basing on the expert advice, the opinion, basing on the opinion of the experts, the inference is drawn by the court or judge. That is section 45 and 46. Now we will be dealing with 46, 47, 49, 50 and 51. This deals about the opinion drawn from the third persons. Section 47, the opinion as to handwriting, that is the electronic signature relevant, whether what is the whether the signature is relevant. Suppose A, B, C, D is there, that A has signed a document and that has been seen by B, and it is also witnessed by another person who is a broker C. Like that, various persons may be involved, but the thing is whether the signature can be identified by the persons who are familiar with the original signature of that person, and that is taken as relevant. That is the opinion to handwriting, that is electronic signature, whether it is relevant or not, is identified by the persons who are relevant to that signature, or who has seen already the signature. The court drawn in inference from that. Then section 40 deals about the right or customs. What are the customs followed in the society, what are the rights followed by the society, and that is taken as the opinion, and that is taken as the evidence. That is with regard to the section 48. Section 49 says about the usage and the tenets. What is the usage in the order life, and what is the practice adopted in the common life, that is taken as the tenets. That is called tenet, and that is also taken according to section 49. So section 50 deals about the relevant to opinions as to relationship, when relevant, when the relationship can be taken as relevant, that is cohabitation and long cohabitation, live-in relationship, and live-in relationship and presumption of marriage. These things are taken into account. That is, when a person married and they are living, the cohabitation is there, and sometimes even without marriage their live-in relationship also will be there, but they are known to the society as the husband and wife or married people. That is also taken by the court as if they are married. That is called live-in relationship. And long cohabitation will also be there. Some cohabitation will be there, even without marriage they will be having cohabitation and the live-in relationship, and these are all, whether it can be presumed as marriage or not, that is drawn by the judges. So basing on the on this live-in relationship, or basing on the opinion of the fact of the relationship which one person have with another person, that is taken into account, and the inference is drawn, whether it can be taken as marriage, or whether the child is legally born, whether the marriage is legal, or even without marriage, if they live with all understanding, whether it can be taken as marriage, or whether it is taken as a legal life. These are all the opinions drawn by the court. And section 51, the last one, grounds of opinion when relevant. The opinion is when it is relevant. Sometimes whenever the opinion of any living person is relevant, the grounds which such opinion is based on are also relevant. Suppose if the opinion of the living person is relevant, that is also taken as relevant for the purpose of deposing witness, and for the purpose of that is culling out of the inference or the opinion. So from these things the relevancy of opinion evidence is fixed, that is basing on the opinion of the basing on the witness deposed. Only the person who is deposing witness or statement can do so, only what they hear, what they see only. They cannot give any opinion based on their that is their visual witness or the hearing witness. Only they can say, I have seen this, I have heard this, that's all. So it is the judiciary function that we have dealt in this. In Tamil ஒரு விட்னஸ் சாட்சியம் அளிக்கும் பொழுது அந்த சாட்சியை அவர்கள் சாட்சியம் அளிப்பவர்கள் அவர்களுடைய கருத்தை கூறலாம், ஒப்பீனியன்ஸ். அதாவது தட் தே கேன் see they can tell about the facts, உண்மையை பொருண்மையை கூறலாம், அல்லது என்ன கேட்டோம் என்பதை கூறலாம். ஆனால் அவர்கள் அதிலிருந்து ஒரு கருத்தை எடுத்துக்கொண்டு இது இவ்வாறு நடந்தது, அது அவ்வாறு நடந்தது, இது அவ்வாறு இருக்கலாம், இவ்வாறு இருக்கலாம் என்று எந்தவித அவர்கள் தீர்ப்புக்கும் வரக்கூடாது, வர முடியாது. அது ஜுடிஷியல் ஃபங்க்ஷன், அது நீதிமன்றத்தினுடைய வேலை. எனவே அதை மாண்புமிகு நீதிபதி அவர்கள் அதனை தீர்மானிக்க வேண்டும் என்பதே இந்த செக்ஷன் 45 to 51 சொல்லப்படுகிறது. ஸோ வித் திஸ் we conclude this video.